Welcome back to the Cold Truth. I know last episode we did an axe murderer, and I sort of did a little bit of research, and I found another case, which I think is extremely interesting.
Yes, I'd heard a little bit about it. Like, I've heard of the name, but I didn't know as much.
I also did hear of the name, and I was wondering, well, where did that come from? Because I originally heard of the name due to a little children's rhyme.
Which we will get into.
Yes.
That's crazy.
That I used to sing, like, on the playground and stuff, but it's called the Lizzie Borden case.
Let's dive into the cold truth. The Lizzie Borden axe murder cases. Another one. Now, but it wasn't with an axe, even though it's in the name.
It was not with an axe. It was actually with a hatchet.
No, okay, I honestly don't know the difference.
So an axe is normally just kind of, it slightly curves.
Okay.
But a hatchet, it comes down to like a point.
Oh.
It's kind of the mix between an axe and a pickaxe.
Okay.
It's a little bit of both.
So,
in a sense,
you know, a bit of a harsher weapon, I feel like.
Oh no, for sure.
An axe?
It's definitely a harsher weapon, in my opinion. And I actually couldn't show any of the photos from this case due to the amount of
they're really
gore
disturbing.
that was in them. Because, give you a little background, this case happened in 1892. Mm-hmm. So they just took photos of everything and kept it.
Unlike our last case where all these people came in, there was like really no evidence left. Like the scene was just destroyed. Everything was perfect for the investigators to come in and take pictures of. They're just. It's really sad to see because, I mean, obviously this was a really horrible thing that happened. As we get into the story, it just gets more strange.
It does. It does get more strange, and it's just...
it's a case, yeah.
Like, I've seen a lot of things. I've researched a lot of different cases. I've seen different photos, like...
Right.
I've seen videos. I've seen the work. But the photo of one of the victims literally makes me gag.
Yeah.
Because of how graphic it is.
Yeah, this was a really, really harsh crime. Now, there was only 2 victims?
There was only 2 victims.
2 victims.
Andrew Borden, which is the father, and Abby Borden, which was the stepmother. Yes. Andrew ended up marrying Abby around 2 years after his previous wife had died.
Yes, and the wife had died when the kids were really young, right?
They were a little bit young, but they weren't too terribly young.
Yeah, but still kids whenever this all happened.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I'm just going to go a little bit into their background.
Yeah, who these people were.
Who they were. All of this is majorly going to be from someone... like the point of view from someone named Lizzie Borden. She was actually the youngest daughter at the time, the only youngest daughter at the time.
Yeah.
And she was born on July 19th, 1888.
July 19th.
She was born on July 19th, 1860 in Fall River, Massachusetts to Sarah Anthony Borden and Andrew Jackson Borden. Her father was of English and Welsh descent. He grew up in a very modest surroundings and struggled financially as a young man, despite being the descendant of a wealthy influential family.
Very wealthy family.
He eventually prospered in the manufacture and sales of furniture and caskets, then became a successful property developer.
Yeah. So they were a wealthy family.
Yeah, they had several properties, and they were just overall kind of wealthy. Yeah. I wouldn't say rich, but they
were better off than some of the people around them, yeah.
Absolutely. And Lizzie had an older sister named Emma Lenora Borden. She was born in 1951, so she was essentially just 9 years older.
Yeah.
Her and her sister had a relatively religious upbringing, and they attended Central Congregational Church. And as a young woman, Lizzie was very involved with the church activities, including teaching Sunday school to children of recent immigrants. She was involved in religious organizations such as the Christian Endeavor Society, which she served as a secretary-treasurer.
Oh, wow. I didn't know she did all of that.
Oh, yeah. She was also in contemporary social movements such as the Women's Christian Temperance Union. She was also a member of the Ladies' Fruit and Flower Mission.
So she seems like a seemingly normal leader.
Yeah, she seems very normal.
That's crazy.
On the surface, I mean,
yeah.
She lived pretty much a normal life.
And she was really close with her sister, too.
She was absolutely so close with her sister. Close. She was very religious, too, which is also something that gets me with this case.
Right.
And
because you have to think of, like, the mindset behind it.
Yeah, the mindset behind it. And her sister was also very religious and very conservative.
Yeah.
Which both of them were.
No, that was the time, too, I mean,
yeah, it was the time. Women couldn't essentially be what they are now.
Right, of course.
But on Thursday, August 4th, 1892, Morris, which was Lizzie and Emma's maternal uncle, was visiting in town, and he left early in the morning. And by the time he got back, Andrew Borden and Abby Borden were dead. So, I mean,
the events of this day, a lot of what a bunch of different people say don't line up. A lot of it doesn't make sense.
No, not at all.
Or a lot of their testimonies or their recounts of the day don't line up. They don't make sense. It's just really strange. And I don't think out of everything everybody says that anybody has really said the truth about what happened that day.
I don't think we'll ever get the truth. Especially with them already being passed. I mean,
no, I don't.
Who's to say what actually happened?
Right, I don't think.
But pretty much a rundown of the day is Morris arrived in the evening of August 3rd and slept in the guest room that night. Andrew, Abby, Morris, and Sullivan. Sullivan is the housemaid.
Yes.
She has been raising them kids and cleaning the house for years. They were present at breakfast the next morning, after which Andrew and Morris went to the sitting room where they chatted for roughly an hour.
Right, so Andrew was like, it was normal. Like, there was no signs of him being off.
Not at all.
Fearful, just completely normal and unexpected, which is crazy. And that's why I think that it was an inside job, but we'll get into that.
Morris left around 8:48 a.m. to buy a pair of oxen, and he also went to visit his niece in Fall River. He was planning to return to the Borden home for lunch at noon. Andrew left for his morning walk sometime around 9.
Which is something he always did.
And one thing that is particularly weird, which is I'll tell you guys about in just a second, but Lizzie and Emma's regular chores was to clean the guest room. They would wash the sheets, they would dust, vacuum, they would make the bed, anything and everything that includes that. I mean, it's kind of a given.
Right, yeah.
But this morning, Abby went upstairs sometime between 9 and 10:30 to make the bed. In the middle of making the bed, that was the last time she was
alive.
Yeah,
that's whatever happened.
Someone had snuck up behind her, and she turned around and she got hit in the face with a hatchet. And then with how hard the blow was, it spun her around and she fell flat on her face. And whoever was assaulting her at the time kept going. It kept
didn't stop.
blow
No
after
remorse.
blow to the back of her head. And so she roughly had died between 9 and 10:30 a.m. We still aren't exactly sure to this day when she fully passed away. But by the time the investigators got there, her body was already cold.
Yeah.
And then Andrew, he ended up returning around 10:30 a.m. and his key had failed to open the door.
Which is strange.
Which is
strange.
But so he had knocked, and Sullivan, the maid, She went to unlock the door, but oddly enough found it jammed.
Came to open the door, which I also think is strange because she didn't know that Abby had been murdered.
I'll talk into this later after I talk about the events of the day.
Right.
Because it's just...
strange.
It's strange.
Everything's strange. But yeah, she went to open the door, but it was jammed, which is also strange.
But he was able to get back inside. Mm-hmm. And later, Sullivan stated that she helped remove Andrew's boots and helped him into his slippers before he laid down on the sofa for a nap.
Yep.
And while he was napping, he was struck in the face around 10 to 11 times with the hatchet. Mm-hmm. Which is a lot less than what Abby had been struck with.
But
she
still.
was struck 18 to 19 times.
And both of these were like head trauma.
It was just head trauma. It was purely
Which
head
is
trauma.
really harsh. And that's also why we can't show a lot of these pictures because they're gruesome.
It is gruesome. I mean, nothing is blurred out in the photos. Everything is practically on display.
Like this was a truly, whoever did this to them
had to have a motive and hatred.
Hatred to be able to do that.
I mean, they at first couldn't recognize Andrew.
So he got in, and then Andrew was killed on the couch.
We aren't really sure when he was killed.
The times of this case are really fuzzy because it's based on who was in the house. Who said what, which is not as trustworthy.
Yeah. But Sullivan said she was upstairs resting after cleaning the windows, and she said around 11:10 a.m. she heard Lizzie yell, "Maggie, come quick, father's dead. Somebody came in and killed him." Which is already weird enough. So they called the investigators, they got there, and they started investigating, and it's just...
The case itself, the events that happened today are strange, but I think what's weirder and what really makes this so unsolved and hard to kind of navigate is how Lizzie handled the events after.
Yes.
How
Lizzie...
anyone else there in the house
handled the events.
Handled anything. It's all really, really strange.
Yeah, Lizzie... Not only did she herself seem off, but the maid also seemed off. But it was mainly just Lizzie. I mean, this is someone that raised you. It's your father.
Right.
And with the way that she was acting, she was cold, detached.
Emotionless.
She was emotionless. She was numb. And we've all been there at some point. Something happened to make you feel nothing. But
I mean, especially if you commit some act like this, I mean, psychologically, it's just, a lot of the times people do just go into shock and they're completely numb. They have no emotions for anything.
It's just one thing that sucks is that people nowadays are like, I don't know where society started going bad. If you look back into past cases, this isn't something new. We've been doing it since the beginning of time.
Things like this, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's kind of in our blood.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's just some people out there that do some pretty crazy things. And Lizzie, I mean, she had a good relationship. She had an okay relationship with her dad.
She had an okay relationship with her dad. Previously, she had just gotten back from a vacation, and before she went on vacation, her father, as well as her sister and her, Lizzie and her sister got into an argument with Andrew because he gave some of Abby's relatives property, in which Lizzie and Emma also demanded property as well.
Right.
And they got into a whole argument about that, and that's when they stormed off to go on vacation.
And their argument, I mean, she could have been mad just because, they didn't get any of the property, but I think she was especially upset because it was Abby.
Lizzie does not like
Lizzie and Abby, they did not click. Emma would call Abby mom because, I mean, she'd been married to Andrew for quite some time at the time of these murders, but Lizzie refused. It was always Miss Borden. And she just never, it was never said that she and her stepmom ever had any sort of good relationship.
No, even people, just the townsfolk, they
knew.
Even said that they didn't have the best relationship because they didn't try to hide it.
No, it was very obvious.
Especially Lizzie, she was open about the fact that she didn't like her. Mm-hmm. She thought that Abby was after her dad's money, and that's all she ever wanted.
Right. And I think that gives us
a
good
motive as far as that goes. But the only issue with that is that we don't have enough evidence to prove that it was Lizzie.
Right. And I think it's time to get into the evidence. Or to our baby.
I guess so.
Last episode are we gonna keep calling it the baby? I feel like we need a name for her.
It's the baby.
It's the baby?
It's the baby.
Last episode our baby was small, so we have upgraded our baby, and
it's called I Got a Hold of a Dry Erase Board.
Of course, but she's truly our baby. So I think it's time.
I think it is too.
Ta-da!
Ah!
Our baby. She got an upgrade.
Oh no, absolutely.
But it was needed. It was needed for this case.
There's so much that goes on, and there's so much evidence, and there's so many little details plus stories that were given.
Testimonies. This is the first case that we've had where we have the actual testimonies of not only Lizzie.
I was able to get
Emma.
my hand on Emma's Borden's testimony, as well as several other witnesses, as well as Lizzie's actual testimony,
which was multiple pages long, and came to zero conclusions.
None.
It was so inconsistent. We'll get into it.
We're going to talk about this anyway.
It is just so.
So, Lizzie Borden was born, obviously, July 19th, 1960. She died June 1st, in 1927, and she was 5'2" and weighed 135 pounds. You're looking at me right now.
Right, so...
She wasn't very tall.
She wasn't
very big.
Couldn't fight back. Could do nothing. Well,
she could.
You could have fought back. I got full faith.
She could have, but I don't
no match for
necessarily think that was common back then.
Right, and no match for somebody coming at you with surprise. Personally, I think that it was 100% inside job. This had to be somebody that she knows, either if it was the maid or Lizzie or anybody else, somebody that she knew, somebody that she didn't think would ever do this, and so caught her by surprise. Same thing with Andrew. I mean, yeah, there was just no hope.
And on August 4th, her stepmother and her father were murdered. Mm-hmm. Abby's body was found face down by the left side of the guest bed, which, oddly enough, if you were standing on the stairs and you were a little bit above eye level as far as the second floor goes, you would literally be looking at where her body was found.
Right, which is really disturbing.
You could see it through the railing and then underneath the bed. You could see the dead body.
Which
is already crazy enough, but Andrew's body, he was found slumped on the sofa, and it was gruesome. It's one of the most gruesome photos.
From the
it's a gruesome photo, but not one of the most I've seen. It's
but still, you can
there
just
was
tell.
Matter of stuff everywhere.
You can absolutely just tell that whoever did this wanted them gone.
And what's insane is that Andrew had more damage but less blows. Abby had more blows but less damage.
Hatred, yeah.
I mean, they hit Andrew so hard in the head and the face that it actually split one of his eyes in half.
Yeah. It's
disturbing.
It's so disturbing. This whole thing.
And Sullivan, the maid, she was also a major suspect because she changed her story a couple of times.
And that's a pattern for a lot.
That's a pattern with pretty much everybody.
In
I mean, Lizzie kept changing her story constantly.
Yeah.
So did Sullivan. And at the time, the murders happened, Emma wasn't in town.
No, that's true. She was out of town, and she was with her friends, I'm pretty sure. And then, like, obviously, whenever she heard about this, she immediately came home. But she was not in the town, not in the house when this all happened.
So Sullivan, I stated this earlier, she stated that she had helped Andrew take off his shoes and put him into his slippers.
Right.
But whenever we found his body, he was still wearing his shoes.
Which is
already kind of
weird,
say that.
Because why would you say something that obviously didn't happen? Because he wouldn't have put his shoes back on.
And later on her actual deathbed, which I know a lot of people aren't necessarily fully coherent, she did state that she lied in court to save Lizzie, which is already kind of weird. And this happened later down the line, but I mean, that's still... It's
odd. And the same thing, speaking of the court, the same thing with Emma. She was really adamant about saving Lizzie. Why did they all feel the need to save Lizzie? Unless she had something to do with it.
I don't know. I mean, she could have been the one that did it, but we don't exactly know.
No,
And Sullivan stated when she went to go unlock the door for Andrew, she heard Lizzie laughing on the stairs. But Lizzie later testified that she was not in the house at the time of that. She wasn't on the stairs. She said that she was either in the kitchen, the barn, or...
I don't even know.
Some other place I can't think of right now, but I mean...
She named every other place other than where
she actually
Abby
was.
Yeah.
And investigators later on found 2 axes and a hatchet. There was 2 axes, 2 hatchets, and then there was a hatchet head that was found with no handle. And investigators described it as looking like dust had been thrown on it.
Right, to make it look aged and old. Like it had been left there for a long time.
We don't know what happened to the handle.
Yeah.
I think it might have to do something. The fact that the day after, Emma stayed with Lizzie, and they both had a friend come over. That way that she could have
company.
Company.
Comfort.
And the guest found Lizzie tearing up a dress and was about to burn it when the guest had asked why. She said that there was paint on it and she needed to get rid of it. And so...
why would you...
One, that's going to make you more suspicious in an actual crime case, especially since so much is going on.
And this was very, like the day after, this was very close to the literal murder date.
And then on top of that, I think she could have also possibly burned the handle while she was burning that dress.
I didn't even think about that, getting rid of the evidence. And that could have been put against her.
With the timelines and the testimonies, there's so much that goes into this. I mean, I fully sat down one night and read Lizzie's entire testimony, beginning to end.
Yeah.
And none of it made sense.
No.
At all. And I know usually they don't make sense. Usually they do. It just depends on how the case is, what the case is about. But hers was scattered. It was non-consistent. She couldn't keep a lie. She couldn't tell the truth either.
Yep.
And she changed her story several times. And it just... with the way that she was acting in court as well, with her being emotionless.
Right, the same just detached stature, yeah.
It already sets a red flag.
And I think a bigger red flag was that, she had all these inconsistencies. She couldn't keep her story straight. She couldn't do all of this stuff. And she was the person to literally say, come, like, Andrew, my dad is dead. She was the person to find them. And so I think out of all of the testimonies, hers should matter the most.
Absolutely.
And for all these inconsistencies, it just puts the biggest pin on her.
It makes her the target. I mean...
yeah, regardless of evidence against it,
It makes her the target. And her testimony, there's a lot of key factors that go into it. There's just so much.
Right.
That it was hard to, pinpoint the key points of her testimony. And we have a paper right here where we wrote
this
all of
our
her stuff
scroll. And I think especially, like, hardest thing about this case is that there is so much, but it all amounts to so little. The amount of hard evidence is so lacking. So it's hard for us to be like, oh, boom, this person did it, because there's just
no proof.
Nothing.
I mean, she wasn't even tried. She was tried for it, but she was later on acquitted due to lack of evidence. But, I mean, there's so much evidence that points to Lizzie, but there's also
it's also just so little
that proves it was Lizzie.
Right.
And as well, with Emma's testimony, it was consistent. She had an alibi at the time.
Right, 'cause she was out of town.
And she was super adamant that Lizzie was innocent.
And I mean, the sisters were really close, so obviously she would defend her sister.
She's obviously going to think her sister's innocent, considering how close they are.
Right.
But
and she was even saying, like, I don't see Lizzie doing this. Like, Lizzie wouldn't do this.
She did. She said Lizzie wouldn't do this at all.
Right.
And later on down the line, when they got older, they had a massive argument. I want to say it was in 1905. This argument led to them not talking for the rest of their lives.
Right. And we don't know.
We don't exactly
what this argument was about.
It could have been over property, money,
or just somebody could have confessed.
I think what could have possibly happened is Lizzie could have slipped up and mentioned something.
Maybe not confess.
But mention something.
Lizzie, I don't know if I fully believe that Lizzie did it, but I fully believe that Lizzie was there.
I have an idea
that Lizzie
of what
knew
happened.
something, and that she wasn't telling anybody the truth. And you said you had an idea?
I do. I have an idea of what could have possibly happened. I think the maid and Lizzie were both in on it.
Right.
I mean,
the maid,
with the door automatically being locked.
Of course. And her being in the house.
Jammed, as well as her being in the house, and Lizzie supposedly being in the house. It just doesn't make sense for one person to do it.
And I honestly, think about this now, the maid had been there for these girls. They almost their entire...
kids.
Exactly. And so she's been with Lizzie. Lizzie and her have probably confided about how she doesn't like Abby, how she doesn't like how things are done. And I fully think they could have confided in each other. And maybe if Lizzie didn't have, the drive or the heart to do it, maybe Sullivan did.
It throws me through a loop, because why do you have a maid but your children are cleaning the guest bedroom?
And then why on that day was it different?
It was a 3-story house, and it wasn't very big to begin with. And Sullivan lived upstairs.
Right.
In kind of the attic kind of area, while the rest of them lived on the second floor, and their main living area was on the first.
It's just so strange.
And I get you're trying to teach your kids manners,
right,
hard work, but
why
still.
hire? Yeah, it's just, this whole thing is crazy. In the past few cases, we were pretty sure we knew what happened, but this case,
I have no idea what happened. I mean, there could be so many possibilities. There's so many outcomes that could have possibly happened that we don't know about. It just, something's not right. We don't necessarily know what happened, but what do you guys think the cold truth is?